not having a great time mental health wise lately. So I've put aside my painting projects. They're just not lighting me on fire right now. And I've just decided, stuff it. I'm going to do something different, break it up, change it up. I'm just going to do a vlog of me just making terrain. Death metal terrain. Okay, so we're going to be building this for, well, anything really, but it's going to be, as I said, inspired by metal albums of the 70s and death metal albums and stuff like that. Those ones that you used to get from like Motorhead and all those epic bands that had those beautiful painted mural album covers. And yeah, as I said, in particular, Motorhead is probably one of the ones I'm really looking at. And I found this bag of skulls, and I've got this thing here that's, of course, got all my skulls from G-Dub in it. Got a whole bunch of aggregate rocks and some tile grout and stuff. This will be the main sort of base for it, to be this sort of mountain that these skulls are in. And we're just going to start with this hardboard. I've kept the name and everything here just so you can see what it is, and you can easily go get some. I'll probably peel that off. But what I want to do is, I've cut the shape, general shape, and then I'm going to quickly sand this with an electric sand. I'll do that off camera so you guys don't have to see it. But I want to round out these edges and make it look far more organic. And yeah, I'll probably just cover myself in a whole bunch of crap, which is all part and parcel of the job. And yeah, we'll get all this looking a bit more like an organic shape. This is probably not going to be climbable, I don't think. Maybe I'll make it a flat plateau, I don't know. Another thing too is that Mork Dod, as I should be talking about the actual game that this inspired, but as I said, you can use it for Chaos War space in or battle space in 40k or Age of Sigmar or in fantasy or whatever. Even Idols of Torment, I've seen people make terrain similar to this with that. But for this one, we're going to, you know, the Mork Dod sort of rules. Is that it's a world that is like inspired by death metal albums, but it's got industrial stuff in it too. So they discovered crude oil, which allows them to have vehicles and things like that. I'm not going to go too far with it. I'm going to keep it fairly medieval. What I'm thinking is that I might have maybe like the skull here and then two wooden posts and maybe like a wooden ramp or something, or some different things around it, as if this is a hill that you can climb up on. I don't know. Maybe some stairs. There's just like piles of skulls or something. I'm not sure. I'm just sort of going with the flow with this one because I just need to break this up. But as I said, we'll just make this more of an organic shape, and just craft for the sake of crafting right now. So I've done all the sanding on this. Pretty good. Gonna be more like organic and maybe a bit more wobbly woo, as it were. Now it's sitting pretty flat. Yeah, like the inside, you can see I've had to try my best to cut it, but oh well, you know. It seems a little bit, hopefully, won't warp too much, but anyway, on to the next bit, which I don't know if I'll need foam to sort of fill the areas, but we'll look at putting some of these skulls in it. So just give me a second here, we'll have a look. Yeah, what I might do is just put sort of a whole bunch of skulls. Whoop! Dropped it. Sort of large and medium. Oh, the actual drawer open for that one. Here and there, and just see how they go. And then I might use bits of foam to sort of fill in gaps and stuff. The idea being that this is more of a mountain that has sort of, the skulls have been, you know, as the mountain's been eroded away, the skulls have been come forth, so that this world has been at one point had some kind of crazy apocalypse, you know, more than a what would you call it, more than sort of a post-apocalyptic sort of thing. This world has had different ages, and this is from a previous age. But anyway, yeah, we'll keep going. We'll see where we're at. Alright, so this is what I'm thinking. I've just sort of put this in place, but yeah, what we're thinking is a area where the big skull's at the front here, and we've got smaller skulls all around it. I need to clean these skulls up a bit. They've all got a bit of like flash and stuff on them still. But then, a bit of a area you can sort of climb up, and then there'll be a plateau on top of it. Yeah, maybe we'll put something on top of the plateau. Hopefully it'll be, at least a little bit of an area around it. I might even end up putting like wood, as I said, like a wood sort of thing sticking out that you could jump off it or whatever. But yeah, the idea is a foreman, and we'll see where we go from here. Alright, so I'm just going nuts now and just literally filling it in with just bits of polystyrene and gluing bits on just to make it fill in gaps and holes and stuff, and then I'm just going to coat it in some multi-purpose filler and stuff, and then that will be the way that I carve it, I think. And then I'll probably go back and do it with some more filler, or with some filler with texture or something, because yeah, I'm just enjoying it. Let's just freeform this shit. So I ended up watering down some of the multi-purpose filler, and it's given it a bit more rigidity, everything's looking a bit a little bit more together. It's still a little wet, but it's fine enough to move on to the next part. As I said, I'm going to give it a bit more rigidity by adding some more filler before I do any more carving or anything, but I'm going to use this flexible wood filler, try to fill in some of these major gaps and stuff, and it's got a little more flex to it, and it doesn't crack as much as the multi-purpose will, and that should fill in these big gaps, especially around these skulls, make them look a little bit more blended. And then later on we come in with texture and rocks and stuff that'll really cover it all up. But using that before I cut any more away might give me a bit of leeway to then actually mix an aggregate into the multi-purpose filler to give it a nice coat. So yeah, onward and upward. Alright, last night we had a little bit of a family emergency and I had to shoot out, so I only got some of it covered in the wood putty stuff, and I put it in this little tub thing I got here. Well, it's a bowl, not a tub, and I just emptied the whole thing out, hoping that I would be able to do this, but as I said, I had to run out of the house. But it actually stayed somewhat liquid, or somewhat malleable, and just by adding water to it, it's still okay. So I got to give props to that company who made this, and I'll probably be using it more often because it's kick-ass, As I said, like in the previous section bit, I'll probably start carving a bit more away, make it a bit more flatter at the top here for minis to stand on. But just now, it's added a lot to keeping it all together. It dries fairly quick because it's meant to be used on wood products, and it's actually very fast drying. Even I've watered it down. It's really good. Yeah, I'll start letting this dry, and then be able to carve away at it and get some nice, more natural looking angles and things, even though it's still looking a bit more metal with some spikes and stuff sticking out of it. Yeah, I do want a little bit more natural looking areas, and as I said, a bit of a flat plateau at the top will be much more appealing. But yeah, everything's looking good. As you can see, we ended up flattening off this plateau bit, so now we've got an actual flat area, and we took this down, this big spike that was here, flattened it down to there, and we've given everything the coat of the wood stuff. These stairs still okay for a mini to traverse. I did notice this big hole here that I'll need to put probably some foam in, and yeah, everything's just, I'm gonna have to leave it to dry. some big holes in there. I'll probably just do that with the poly filler, since I've used up all this wood glue, wood filler stuff, because it's yeah, but it's really hard. Like it's pretty good. Like there's no, with the flex and stuff in it, there's no movement and anything going on that's too troublesome. But the next thing will be, of course, as I said, just filling in a whole bunch of gaps, getting it to the point that it's all solid. It will have a bit of weight to it. It's got a bit of, like, a little bit of weight to it. Lucky the skulls are plastic and hollow. But yeah, I'm liking this a lot. And the whole talk about putting like a bit of wood like across here and that, I probably won't do that, but I might use, you know, I might build another one of these and put a bridge that can be removed on it or whatever. Or it can just be this. As I said, I can put an altar that's removable on top of it. I might have to deal with that too. Don't want that there. Although, I'm going to cover it up. Yeah, whatever. But, yeah, I'm liking this. And the thing, as I said, when we get to the texturing and stuff and adding gravel and different things like that, we'll add a whole bunch more of the little skulls from GW, and there's going to be skulls everywhere. It's just at the moment it looks a bit bare, but I do like that there's a few spikes and different things everywhere, but the major gaps need to be filled up. Although I do like these ones, these natural sort of looking ones of the plateau. Maybe not that one, but you know, that a flat area would crack over time. Yeah, I'm rather enjoying this. And I think this is where I'm finding my happy place now, is not painting large swaths of minis, is usually painting 1 or 2 minis, maybe even up to 4 or 5, but then I get a little bit burnout. I think building terrain is kind of where I find my happy place, and especially free-forming terrain, having a bit of an idea of where I want to go and just going for it. Yeah, and just doing these kinds of videos, these unedited vlogs. Yeah, they are far more appealing to me creatively. So we're going to actually leave the video off there, as this has to dry. And my hairdryer, the heating element must be gone in it, because I've tried to use it a couple of times and it just heats up and then dies. So we're just going to have to let it naturally air dry as best to its ability. It's a somewhat warm day here in Australia, so it won't take too long for this to dry. But I wanted to make an end to the video so that it's not too long for you guys. But yeah, it's looking great. My depression and stuff really starts to go away, and I start to feel like I'm accomplishing stuff, and this is like, it just makes me feel so much better to see something like this come out of just, I don't know, maybe 2-3 hours of just kerfuffling, you know. Gotta put those off the bottom, there's a little bit of glue got underneath it and a bit of paper, but I'm really happy with the way this is looking, and thank you for sticking around, thank you for watching. We're getting close to 1,000 subscribers, so yeah, if you want to like, share and everything, that'd be great. We're probably not close to monetizing watch hours wise, because I haven't really made too many long form videos, but I just want to thank everybody for being here as well. It's really so amazing that you've taken the time to even watch videos and shorts, and I love being on here and being goofy and being fun and giving everybody motivation. Some days we need it, some days we're really good, some days we're not, and it's good to be able to do something and have a result that you go,
I feel great. But one thing I will need to do is we've got Black Friday coming up. As I said, gotta order more skulls because I'm going to use a lot of them in this. I just thought it'd be great to poke holes and put skulls in them, and I just went, better order more skulls. Yeah. Anyway, again, thank you for watching. Make good decisions. Be kind to yourselves. Be kind to others. Drink some water. And I'll see you around the bend. Cheers.